Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday's market wrap up here at TOPGUN Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Before we get airborne and debrief the week, make sure you subscribe and follow the No Fallen Heroes YouTube page. We have a ton of great content on here. Make sure you check out my most recent
This is podcast
with Neil Markey from Beckley Retreats. He's the co-CEO, founder of Beckley Retreats. It's down in Jamaica. Great organization. He's a former Army Ranger, 2nd Battalion, Iraq, Afghanistan, healed with psychedelic assisted therapy. So you can watch it on our YouTube channel, or obviously you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, wherever cool kids listen to podcasts. You can check it out. Good week of trading. Had a little bit of a nail biter yesterday with a bear call spread on the S&P 500, but ended up closing for a max profit. It was the 59.50, 59.55. So that was a good looking trade. And then yesterday in our joint brief, we didn't have a brief on Tuesday and Wednesday because we were up, Susie and I, my wife and I were up in New York City at the Institute for the Study of War with General Jack Keane and General David Petraeus, and kind of networking for our foundation. So we did a joint brief yesterday, and we put on a bullish double vertical out through regular December expiration. What happened? Let's pull up the S&P 500. After we put on our trade in yesterday's brief, let's just go day with a 5-day chart here. Look at this. Here's yesterday morning, and then boom, rip your face off rally. Here's us in the brief yesterday. Here's 11:21. Gap open, gap down. This was a lot of NVIDIA chop, right? The market was really confused. Did NVIDIA print money? Did it not print money? So gap up, gap down. Look at this. This was Sniper Alley. You could snipe here, snipe there. And then we put on a bear call spread as we ripped up here, and it ended up expiring right there. We got a slam into the close for max profit. Good week of trading. We have that bullish double vertical on the S&P 500 out to mid-December, like I said, because I think we're going to get a Santa Claus rally. However, we might all be dead. You just can't even make this shit up. On the way out the door, Joe Biden's like literally pushing for World War III. The same people who were frothing at the mouth in 2016 that Donald Trump's going to get us into World War III are the same people who are going to get us into World War III. They accuse you of everything they're actually doing. So Putin picked up the phone and called NATO and said, yeah, by the way, we're launching a brand new hypersonic missile in the next 30 minutes. Check it out. Folks, it is near impossible to defend against. This thing is at Mach 9. And he test fired it in the Ukraine as a hint. Like, if you keep pushing me, it's going to be over with, folks. I just can't even believe I'm talking like this, man. That Joe Biden, on the way out the door with 2 months to go in his presidency, is ratcheting it up. And man, I grew up in the 80s, folks. Okay, I grew up in the Cold War and the threat of the Soviet Union and mutually assured destruction and hide under our desks at school. Thought those days were over with. Never thought we'd be this close to annihilation. It's an absolute disgrace what Joe Biden and the Democrats in this country are doing as they go out the door. And oh, by the way, as they're going out the door, just when you thought illegal immigration couldn't get any worse, Biden is making it even easier for illegal immigrants to come and stay into this country. Folks, they're literally burning everything as they exit. It's an absolute disgrace. They really don't give a shit about Americans. Anyway, who cares? The Trump stock euphoria starts to fade. I love that the Wall Street Journal posted this article yesterday, and then the market had a rip your face off rally. I think the Dow was up like 500-600 points yesterday when you see this type of headline. Trump stock euphoria. Folks, here's the election, right? I told you this was also, a little bit of a relief rally that Trump won, but it was also a short squeeze. There was I know a lot of people who got wiped out. They were short going into the election, thought it was going to take a couple days and, recounts and Supreme Court. And also people expected craziness. And then Trump won the White House. Republicans won the House and the Senate sweep. Short squeeze. I told you 3 to 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 6, we came back to the 20-day moving average, which I predicted. I said, we're going to come back here, we're going to consolidate, and then take the next leg higher. So the Wall Street Journal the Trump euphoria is fading. Dude, it's been a week and a half, man. He hasn't even been inaugurated yet. So it's pretty funny. I'm loving the fact that Democrats simply refuse to debrief why they lost. They're sitting here and they're doubling down on stuff, right? Please, if you're a Democrat, this was a fluke. This election was a fluke. Please run on everything that you ran on last time. Wide open borders, cashless bail, dudes being able to dress as women and go into bathrooms or beat the shit out of women in sports. Please run on all of that stuff again. Please run on world war, enjoying war in the world. See how that works out for you next time, okay? It's an absolute disgrace. But, man, spending like a drunken sailor infuriates Americans, folks. And did you see what Joe did yesterday? The Ukrainian loans, I'm waiving them. They don't have to pay them back. I want that to sink in. Make sure you pay your taxes, folks, because Ukraine, all the money we're giving to Ukraine as loans, Joe just said, well, no, I'm going to, with the stroke of a pen, say you don't have to pay it back. The same guy that did it with fucking student loans, right? All the plumbers and waiters and waitresses in this country have to pay for the liberals who took gender studies and got a degree in that, and they don't want to pay off their student loans. These people are awful. Read the room, Joe. Read the room, Democrats. This country is done with your bullshit. Go away. So, yeah, I think investors are betting on a market melt up. I remember 2016 to 2020. Skip the COVID at the end. Market had a rip your face off rally, okay? Yeah, there was some trade war and this and that and everything like that. That's good. Folks, I'm old enough to remember that Donald Trump beat China into submission in a trade war. I remember 3 Chinese heavies going to the White House for a signing ceremony. And in true Trump fashion, he stood up there for an hour and took a victory lap and spiked the football. So, folks, I remember it. I remember record low African-American and Hispanic unemployment. I remember a stock market going up. I remember low inflation and interest rates. So couldn't be more bullish, folks. Couldn't be more bullish on the Death Star. Amazon, did you see this news today? Amazon invests an additional $4 billion in Anthropic, which is an open AI rival. So tech giants, man, are pouring money into AI. The Death Star, Amazon, I guarantee you is going to take it over. I think they are already. They're making their own chips. They'll end up putting NVIDIA out of business, folks. You want to be in AI, you want to be in chips and everything like that, the only stock you need to own is Amazon, period. That's why we have a solo Amazon service. We already talked about fading the defense stocks. Man, if you had listened to me going into the election and right after the election, you made a shitload of money. I said, get bullish on the psychedelic stocks. They spiked. Told you to get bearish on the pharma stocks. They imploded. Also told you to start fading the defense stocks. All of that happened, folks. I'm having an absolute blast here trading. And looking forward to RFK, man. You know, love or hate the guy, he is saying that he is going to try and legalize psychedelic assisted therapy for veterans or first responders or family members. We're getting there, folks. I got this wrong for the past couple of years. I thought Democrats were already there. Hippies, anti-government, anti-pharma, big pro-free speech, anti-war. Everybody's flipped. The parties have absolutely flipped. Democrats are the ones in bed with Pfizer, Moderna, Eli Lilly. They're the ones who are pro-war. They're the ones that are pro-big government and pro-pharma. Republicans, I was stunned. I'm like, so you're telling me I was wrong? I was absolutely wrong. I thought Joe, Kamala, Democrats would lead on psychedelics, and they paid lip service. Here comes people who are going to do what they say they're going to do. So I think consolidation down here at the 20-day moving average on the S&P 500 was good. Now it's time to rip higher and have a Santa Claus rally. Looking forward to my Buffaloes winning this weekend. Maybe Army beating Notre Dame in football. That's going to be a good game as well. Make sure you check up on the most recent podcast on No Fallen Heroes. Make sure you're subscribed to our website. And if you can, please do me a favor on Apple Podcast. Please drop a nice review, man. And I'd appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged, which we are. Fights on. Namaste. and basi, which means truth. Whiz out.